Hello, hello. Welcome on this episode. We have very special guest, Sascha Kalivoda, who is a expert here in town. You might recognize her as an instructor of many classes at Light Cellar as well as around town. She also works at Lotus Herbal and with New Earth Organics. We're going to be talking about the lymphatic system. If you've not met Sascha before, or if you are very familiar with her, you're going to be excited, inspired, and educated in our short little conversation. This is a system that she feels is very underserved, underrepresented, underfocused on, not paid attention to enough. And as you'll hear, yeah, talks about how, people who've had chronic issues, things that have been going on for so long, they've consulted all the experts, and then they go, wait a minute, they finally look at the lymphatic system and poof, things change. We're also going to learn maybe a very big misconception about how to improve or work with exercises, shall we say, that are out there about working with your lymphatic system. So, anyways, that's a really long introduction. So, without further ado, hello, welcome, Sascha.
Hey, Malcolm.
Cool, right on. Well, let's get you a word in there. Here we are, like a minute into the conversation, and
All
all
good.
babbling on. This is all about featuring you and your wisdom, your expertise. So, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. We're talking again about one of my favorite topics to talk about. I started teaching on the lymphatic system a couple of years now, I think. And the more I do it, the more I'm blown away by how many people this is affecting and how, like you said in the intro, how it's missed and how it's still missed despite going to this herbalist, that homeopath, this naturopath, this doctor. Right? It's amazing how it's missed. And because it's such at the forefront of my mind, I start talking to someone and 5 minutes in, I'm just showing them some really simple exercises to do. And they're realizing how backed up they are. Right? They're so congested. I'm like, so you've been dealing with this for how long? And you've been going for this test and that test. But, within 5 minutes of just touching a certain few areas of your body, you can see, oh, wow, I need some attention. And why the lymphatic system? Because it's the source system, right? It's the source system of the body. It's a very intimate part of the cardiovascular system, the circulatory system as well. So if you help one, you help the other. And a lot of people dealing with cardiovascular issues are poor circulation, really, right? If you've got a lymphatic blockage situation going on, then you've got a circulatory issue going on. And if you help one, you help the other. And there's very few cardiovascular doctors that are talking about that. I am not a doctor. This is not medical advice, folks, just so you to be clear here. However, there are some that are aware of that and are addressing that situation because where does the lymphatic system end? It dumps back into the circulatory system. So it's a really important part of keeping this body flowing and clean. And in this day, when we got things coming in at us from all ends, all sides, all surfaces, we got to make sure that they come through, they get dealt with, and they get removed. And when we're stagnant, we're like a scummy pond. We're not that clear flowing river. So
Yeah.
that's how I like to help people because it's a simple tool that they can apply for themselves. Doesn't require an appointment, a certification, just requires a few little bits of information.
Cool. No, I love this. Like 2 points really to kind of focus in on there that if, and you don't need to be this person, but if you are somebody that's kind of been, looking around every bend, looking up every left corner, like this might be actually literally the kind of the missing piece that will put it all together. And it's a great place to start because, like you say, it is so foundational. And I love the fact, like this is, who you are. You're not a medical doctor, and nor should I would say, I mean, dare I say it, that's required, in that sense, like there should
Right.
just be a base level of knowledge, fundamentals, techniques, like insights that we can have about our own body that can give us that insight. Like that's accessible, should be accessible, is accessible to all of us just at our fingertips. And I know you're all about that. That's a real foundation of who you are, what you teach, and how you empower people.
Yeah, fundamental basics, because that's the problem. We're often going to the end point to fix that one little thing, but we've ignored all these upstream factors that will impact that outcome. But not only just that, so many other things. So we've got the minerals class coming up with Jen. Myself and her are doing that three-part series. And then those are two areas that if those aren't addressed and you're trying to fix something, it might not be the whole solution found in these two basic fundamentals, but they are a part of it because in these days, what are we doing? We're missing our minerals and we're stagnant. We're stagnant, we're over polluted, we have bad posture, we're not moving the right ways or the same ways, or we're taught improper techniques, or it just gets missed. The problem is with when we go to the regular medical way of thinking and we talk about lymphatic system, if there's no lymphoma or lymphedema, it's fine. Don't worry about it. There's nothing wrong. Or there was someone when, and I'm doing this class again at the Light Cellar because I got such great feedback and I know it's a popular class. And there was a girl who attended a later one that I did because she missed the one at the Light Cellar and she was almost in tears after the last class when she came up to me because she shows me her neck and she has these hard lumps. They've been there for 5 years. 5 years. Doctor said, "Oh, you just have swollen lymph nodes." Sent her on her way. Meanwhile, she wakes up in the morning sometimes forgetting that she even went to bed the night before because part of our brain health, folks, massive part of our brain health. It's not just the lion's mane, which is helping your nerves regrow and remyelinate and differentiate, which is awesome and amazing. But in order to keep that clean, right, even wiring and firing your brain, that creates metabolic waste that is meant to be washed out and drained every night when we're having a good sleep. So if that's not happening, either because we're not sleeping or because downstream is plugged, because there are all sorts of lymph in our face and around our ears and the back of our neck and underneath our chin and on our necks to the end point right here, where I don't know if you can see on this, but their clavicle right in there, like right in that dip, right? They
Yeah.
got your SEM right there and right in there on each side. If those are plugged up, then that's not draining. That's not happening. And that's going to impact your capacity to think clearly, to remember, right? And I really believe if this girl were in her young woman, if she were in her, say, 50s or 60s, there would be a chance that she'd be diagnosed with some kind of early onset dementia, right? But
Yeah.
nobody's, because she's just, oh, you just got swollen lymphomas for 5 years.
Wow.
I can't understand that thinking. I don't get it. So this is why I'm so excited to share this information because it literally can be life changing for so many people.
Yeah, and I know in the class you go through all the points, that will kind of help and even almost as a bit of a kind of an indicator, a test. Like you mentioned this one here, right in the clavicles.
Yeah.
I know you go way more in depth in the class, but just like feeling in there, right? Like and this isn't the complete like diagnosis, but if you're touching in there and you're like, oh my, oh, sore, right? Or it's hard or lumpy, like that is one sure sign, like, okay, you got some work to do in that area.
And that's right. And because this is the end point, then everything else, the capacity to drain is going to be affected. Like, for example, I just saw a girl at the store at Lotus, I don't know, a month or two ago. Tall, thin girl, lean, but she didn't look as defined as she should, her jawline and everything. And I was just curious. And I said to her, "Can I just touch you?" She's like, "Yeah, sure." And I touch in. So I'll take, oh my God. Like this. I'm so tied up. So this, okay. So we've got our clavicles right
Yeah.
here. This is my left side. So this is where 75% of it is draining. So I just went and I touched her right in there, not in that hard. And when you're palpating, checking, you can go in harder, but when you're actually doing the draining, you don't go quite as hard. But I just touched her there. She just jumped back and she just jumped. And I couldn't tell, I couldn't see, but when I felt it, I felt this big lump. And I'm like, okay, I didn't expect that response, but I'm not actually surprised because I can see that you're like for your build, you shouldn't look like that, right? You shouldn't look like that. So it's really amazing what can be discovered in seconds to minutes when people
Right.
just get curious and learn the order of things.
Yeah. Okay. So how about this? Let's challenge this, and I invite you to flip it on its head if this is something that is contrary to the conventional wisdom. So anything I've ever learned about lymphatic system, if I go back to kind of early days of nutrition school, is okay. Two things, right? It's you want to jump on a trampoline, and you want to do a dry skin brush, and we want to kind
Right.
of move, start from the bottom and move
Right.
everything up to these drainage points.
Right,
Good,
exactly.
good
And
practice, bad
what I
practice.
was taught too. That's what I was taught too. And so we've been told that wrong. We've been told that backwards. You can do that, but there are other things you have to do first, and you need to start in the right order. So picture a red light with 10 cars waiting to go. Light turns green. Here's the first car. Here's the 10th car. When we start dry brushing at our ankles or at our feet and moving up to our heart and our heart area, it's like that 10th car is trying to push all the other cars through. What we need to do is wait for the first car, the second car, the third car, fourth car, etc., to get going, right? That is what we need to do so that they can flow. And so this being the end point, right? If this is the end point and if this is plugged up, then nothing else can flow. So you can't release your brain, you can't release your armpits, your arms, your breast tissue, like your toes. It'll all be affected. And so what I recommend to people is just start like, let's just give you one tip, one point. Start just rubbing in this. And by the way, you should be able to see in there. It doesn't matter how big people are. When you are puffy, if you got a puff here, I have a friend, she's got quite a puff right there. And if you have a puffiness in that area or in any obvious areas, especially in the joint type areas, then there's a good indication that you've got some lymphatic stagnation. So just feel around. You can get in there and feel and see if it's sore. And if it's sore, it doesn't necessarily have to be, but that is a good indication. And this is the place. So just start every day just rubbing in this area. And I'm going to go through the points in order, the main points. And if you want to work in specific areas even more, then we can go into more extended points. But just start doing this so that things can drain through. And might notice like sinuses drain, you might notice ears drain from the head, but you might notice all of a sudden that something else drains because it works like a vacuum. You open this up and it allows for things to flow, right? So everything from the bottom is coming up this way and everything from the neck down is coming down to these 2 points. So starting at the feet is not going to get you where you need to go if anything upstream is plugged up.
Yeah, makes sense. So, yeah, again, I know folks that attended this the first time we offered it, loved it. It was a very popular class. Some of the reviews, very informative, engaging. Sierra had said, "Love the session. Sasha's so knowledgeable. Feels great investing in my own knowledge and health." And so this is why we're offering it again. If you missed it, you want to come. It's going to be live, so it's a Thursday, in fact, February 27th from 7 to 9 p.m. And you can join online or in person. Either way, get all your questions answered, get insight deeper into this key essential system of your body, the lymphatic system, and get it flowing for less pain, greater ease, a more youthful glow. And yeah, anybody who does register will also receive the recording afterwards. So you don't need to be there in person. It's just a bonus if you are, and you'll get the
It's fun.
recording to kind of be able to review again thereafter, plus some slides and notes from Sasha. So cool. Well, that was great. Really appreciate that. And we hope folks do register. Lightcellar.ca, go to live classes and events. You'll see the big long list of all the different offerings we have. And this one's coming up at the end of February. So yeah, thanks for your time. Thanks for sharing those insights, Sasha. And we'll look forward to seeing you at the end of the month for this session.
Thanks, Malcolm. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Bye for now.